What's going on, guys? Today is December 26th, 2024, 8:35 p.m. It is Thursday. Do I need to go to bed 35 minutes ago? Yes. Am I going to get 8 hours of sleep tonight? No. Do I ever? No. Does that make me upset? Yes. Do I do anything to get better at it? Yes. Does it help? No. Do I need to try harder? Yes. Does it seem like no matter how hard I try, I still can't get even 5 minutes of sleep? Yes. Obviously, I'm being very dramatic, but I'm going to keep this short and sweet. I really need to go to sleep. But anyway, every time I say short and sweet, it never is. So maybe this is going to be a 5-hour show. But anyway, today I had a realization, a very cool one, personally, that I am an operations guy. I love operations. I love the back end efficiency, making things running smooth, making sure things are communicating, making sure that the process makes sense, and that it's easy to follow, and that it's a step-by-step, easy to comprehend, and easy to all the shit. And I thought, well, isn't that what a COO does? Their chief operations, you know? Isn't that what that chief operations officer, right? Because CEO is chief executive officer, right? Matter of fact, why do I feel like that's not wrong? Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Why did I think that was wrong? Anyway, so I was just sitting there because I wanted to, so the mastermind I'm in, I wanted to make them a big Christmas gift and show them how to use the Neato products and the Neato software, make a screen recording on how to use all of them, how to implement it into their business, how to do everything. And then I got thinking, like, why don't I start doing this all the time for everything that I do? Because there's people in the group that don't even know how to use Instagram. And just making videos and posting them around and I just love that stuff. And I was like, I just had a realization where, you know, it was kind of like, that's why I love this shit so much, because it's all operations. When I record a video and I'm showing step-by-step and making guides and stuff, that's operations. When I'm at work and I'm making things, other helpful things to make things easier and more useful for other people, that's operations. When I make a guide, or when I do something to simplify something down or to make it easier or more efficient or whatever, that's operations. And so it was a cool realization for me today, because there's certain things that I really do not want to do ever, and there's other things that's all I want to do. And I was thinking about the different areas of a business that need to be taken care of in order for the business to run. And as a solo entrepreneur, and I'm going to call myself that now because I feel like I can say that, because I made a service, made a product, I sold said service, and I have people in the business, and I'm making money now. So out of my own idea, my brand, service, business, whatever. So I'm an entrepreneur. I don't give a fuck. I feel like I earned that title, dude. A lot of people just put it in their bio because they sold something one time. And I guess technically that's what I am. But like Elon Musk said, like, fuck titles. I'll just be the Godzilla Raptor 920 founder or whatever. Who gives a shit? Titles don't mean anything. That's what he said. Don't know if I agree 100% with that, but I think it's funny. But anyway, I was thinking about the different areas of business. You know, you have sales, you have delivery, you have operations, you have accounting, you have the finance, same thing. You have the actual systems and processes, which, you know, I guess that's operations. You have the branding, the marketing, you have the content creation, all that stuff. So I don't know, maybe there's 10 different areas of a business. And I got to run all of them because I'm solo. So I got to be the production guy, I got to be the sales guy, got to be the face-to-face guy, got to be the brand, got to be the everything, because I'm solo. And I thought, well, what do I like to do the most? And I was just thinking about all these different areas, and I'm like, I love the creative aspect. I love trying to create stuff. I like content creation for the most part, but I think I just procrastinate because it's not up to par with my standard. But I don't have the time required to live up to that standard, because if it was up to me, I'd be having a whole setup. I'd be having a professional photography or videographer with a whole shit ton of stuff going on. I would have all this stuff, and that's how I'd be making my content, but I don't have that, so I just gotta take a photo, write a cap. Anyway, and so I was conversing with my boy GPT. We'll call him Gabriel Patrick Thompson. Gabriel Patrick Thompson, GPT, ChatGPT. I was with Gabriel Thompson. And I might be able to pull this up, actually. Let's see if I can. I was looking at the different areas of business. And some of the advice that it gave to me, I might have exited it out. Oh, it's right here, actually. So I said, as a solo entrepreneur who must handle everything in the business, how can I best handle and go about everything in the business as a very strong operations guy? What can I do to reframe my thinking or my approach, or approach things differently to make it more enjoyable for myself? What tricks or strategies can I implement to ensure I'm operating 100% while not avoiding other parts of the business? Because I said, so an operations guy thrives on education of systems and processes more than he would like the delivery or sales of accounting, etc. That was before I said the first thing I said. But it gave me some tips, and the big headlines were reframe your thinking, which I'm big on. View other areas as systems. Think of it as an ecosystem. Focus on mastery, not passion. Now, I like that a lot. You don't need to love every task, but mastering it can bring satisfaction. And I love that. Other ones were strategies to optimize and enjoy the process. So batch tasks, systematize as you go. Set KPIs for every role. Leverage tools and automations. And then some mindset tricks to stay engaged. Gamify the hard stuff. Attach it to your purpose. Focus on growth through learning. See each new skill, whether it's pitching or creating content, as a way to evolve as a business owner. Growth is exciting when tied to your success. I love that a lot. And the other ones were practical steps to maximize efficiency. Prioritize your energy. Outsource early. Schedule time for self-improvement. I definitely do not do the third one. I'm always trying to go guns a-blazing into the next building. But sometimes that's not the good plan. So outsource early, though. I like that. It says identify low-value, repetitive tasks and outsource them as soon as you can afford it. This could mean hiring a virtual assistant or using freelance platforms for marketing or admin tasks. And it kind of gave me a summary action plan. So why am I sharing all this? Well, today I just had that realization that I like the operation shit. I love it. I love that shit. And I thought, no wonder why people think that the program kicks ass, because I fucking kill it in that regard. You know, I'm using all the best softwares that I can. I have the podcast here. I'm creating content, I guess, in that regard. It's kind of a creativity thing, but like even with the podcast, I spent like an hour trying to figure out how to save 5 seconds per show. I spent an hour doing that, which is where I create an automation. Where is it at? Where the fuck did it go? I don't know where it is. Is it in this one? Oh, I go to Automator, and then I put in some kind of keystroke shortcut, and then that allows me to just hit a certain combination of keys, and it captures the date, time, day of the week, year, rather than me having to type it in. And I spent an hour trying to figure that out. And I loved it, dude. I love that stuff. So I keep repeating myself. The realization that I had today was I'm an operations guy. I like all that shit. And how can I use that? How can I reframe everything else to be that? And I think that's why I get so hung up on trying to do things in bulk and trying to figure out the best ways to do things in the highest quantities. Because I believe that for the most part, everything's just a numbers game. So you just have to do such high volume of things to get what you want. And then maybe later on down the journey, it's not about quantity, but more so quality. Because the way that I'm thinking about it is, if I were to send 15 high quality, super personalized messages per day, and it takes me 2 hours to do, is that better to do than sending 200 messages if I were to just go, pedal to the metal, just focus, did it for 2 straight hours, message 200 people, something crazy like that. Because there's no reason why I can't message 200 people in 120 minutes. I mean, for example, let's say I pull out my phone, click on Instagram, click on a message, click on somebody, go to this page, see their profile, like, DM, hey bro, what's up, how you doing, like your thing, that's great, peace, or whatever, send, on to the next one. Hey dude, I like your jersey, sweet, cool, you fitness, great, send. So right there, I mean, I just sent 2 in 30 seconds. So I could send 4 in a minute. I mean, I could send 240 an hour. I mean, I could send almost 500 in 2 hours. Now, of course, there's limits to Instagram, and I'm not going to do that. But for me, it's like I want to send 5,000 per day, but I can't. So I don't send any because it's like, well, I can't. I feel like I sound exactly like Alex Hormozy when I say certain words, but I can't operationalize it. I can't get speed or efficiency with it because I'm a solo dude trying to do all this stuff. So it's like, this shit sucks then. You know, you can't just... Like, I want to be able to have the reps, dude. I want to go quick. I want to learn fast. I want the fast feedback loops. And with sales right now, I've had one at bat with a real person. And coincidentally, I've happened to sell the guy, so I'm 1 for 1. This is the only time in my entire professional sales career I'll ever be able to say that I'm 100% close rate, ever in my entire life. So that's kind of cool. 1 for 1, baby, 100%. Literally never lost a poker game in my life. Also, never had somebody say no to me on the phone for a sales call. Those are both facts right now. And yeah, the poker thing is true. I've only played 1 game and I didn't lose. So yeah, I'm undefeated in poker. And I've never had somebody tell me no on a sales call. So hell yeah. All right, so that's that. And I just think that was a cool realization for me. I feel like gained some clarity. Something else I want to share, and I'm going to go, is I have the podcast that's documentation. You know, I summarize each show. I get the transcription. I get all that stuff. I'm saving it all for one big giant documentation later on, or like happening now. But I thought, what if I wrote a book about all this stuff? What if I had a book for each chapter of my life, aka each year of this bed project? What if I wrote a book, but the book wasn't necessarily documentation, but more so the lessons, and I mean, it'd be documentation for sure, but it would be extracting the lessons, the values, the things that I've learned, the things that I come across, my perspective, my ideas, defining what I think about certain things, sharing beliefs as a documentation. And that got me fired up. And so actually today I started writing because I think it'd be cool. So I have, well, let's see, that's page 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I wrote 5 pages today of this so-called book. And a lot of it's kind of random, and this is more so just me brain dumping and putting shit onto paper. And I don't like it, so I'm not going to delete it. I'm going to keep it, but I have a spot. I call it use or lose. Big bold letters. And I'm just going to refer to that maybe if I need some inspiration or something like that. So I don't know. I think it'd be cool. I think the idea is cool. I think I'd have to package it up and make it nice. Because, for example, I need to have a book out already if I'm going to make 1 book per year. Which, you know, it's kind of tricky to start a project like that a year late. Because if I'm going to write as I go about the first year, or it might even be the perfect time to write it, because I just had year 1. That was 2 months ago that I completed year 1 on this journey. So maybe I'll start with that so I can talk about 75 Hard. But the vision that I have with that is that I'd be sharing, obviously it would continue on with the documentation side of things, because that's what I like a lot. But it would also allow me to dive deeper in the moment of what I now think, being a year out from whatever I did. So for example, I can talk about 75 Hard in the context of me now, and also have the recording. Dude, I just got chills. This is fucking so cool to me. I can talk about 75 Hard in the context of me doing it now in the future, and also have the recordings of me as I was doing it. So I can write about it now, and you can also hear my real life bullshit monologue. And I say monologue, even though I'm talking to somebody. I mean, I guess that's what a self-podcast is, right? A monologue. Isn't internal monologue? Is that? Yeah. Monologue. A long speech by one actor in a play or movie. A long, tedious speech by one person during a conversation. Welcome to the Bed Project monologue. The monologue. The bed monologue. Monologue bed. Monologue in bed. Mom left a log in bed. Mom, there's a lot of logs in bed. Mom took a shit and left a log in. Okay, I'm done. So I think it'd be cool, man, because I like writing. I like the philosophical shit. And I find writing to be therapeutic because it's almost like a puzzle for me, because I'm trying to think of what I want to say and how I want to say it and how I want it to come across. And there's not infinite, but let's see. How many words are in the English language? Dude, I live in Utah. The first thing that popped up were how many words were in the Book of Mormon. Excellent. So according to most estimates, the English language contains roughly 1 million words. However, this number can vary depending on how dictionaries count words and include obsolete terms. So finna and af and dog, so we're probably got about 1.1 million with all those horseshit ass words. Anyway, Oxford English Dictionary lists around 171,000 words. Challenging. Okay, so let's just say that there's 100,000 words. When I go to write down thoughts, opinions, beliefs, decisions, whatever, there's 171,476 different possibilities that I could write. Now, if you think, I want you guys to think about this for a sec. So in theory, if you use every single word in a sentence, I don't even know how to do that math, but if every single word was in a sentence, you would go 171,476 factorial. And I know that it wouldn't be that because certain words and sentences don't make sense and you wouldn't have a sentence that's 171. I get that. But in theory, that'd be 171,476 times 171,475 times 171,474 times 171,473 and so on. And if you do it with 52, just 52 factorial, which is the amount of cards in a deck of playing cards, that number is whatever number with, I think it's like 60 zeros after it. Let's do it real quick. I think it's fascinating shit. You guys want to hear one of the most interesting facts, statistical facts? You know what? I'm about to blow you guys' mind with this shit. Ready? The average American has less than 2 arms. Yeah, and it's fact. It is real. And why that's real is because every person, let me finish what I'm going to say before you start barking. Every person is born with 2 arms. So therefore, the max you could have is 2. Therefore, if only one person is born without 1 arm, the average goes down. Because if it was 2 across the board, it would be 2. If somebody has 1, then the average goes down. So therefore, the average American has less than 2 arms, which is how gets you thinking, because that's an actual fact. That's a percentage. That's a real stat. How many other stats are like that are just so misleading? Everybody knows that most people, almost damn near every single person we've all met in our lives, except maybe 1 or 2, has 2 arms. But the average is less than 2. And I just think that's very interesting to think about when you think about statistics and percentages and headlines and this and that are shared across when they say, 10% of whatever, But anyway, 52 factorial is 8 with 67 zeros followed by that. And that's how many different ways you can shuffle a deck of cards. So that's that. Now, going back to what I was saying, every time I sit down here to go to write, I have a thought that I want to get onto paper to make it make sense and to sound the way that I want it to sound, and also present itself in a way that I think is badass. Because it's one thing for you to get your point across, but it's another to get your point across in such little words. And for example, something as simple as those who matter don't mind, those who mind don't matter. It's a play on words. It also makes perfect sense, and it is so deep, so simple, yet it's amazing. And I like stuff like that. So anyway, when I sit down and I try to write some stuff, it's like a puzzle for me. And I want to get it all on paper nice and neat and get my point across and make it beautiful. Sometimes I get more caught up in that than I do with actually writing something, because I'm like, does this sound good? And I'm like, You haven't even written anything, bro. It's like the on SpongeBob. He's been writing for almost there and finished. What I learned in boating school is, and it just zooms in, it's just the, that's how I feel. But I like it. And so I thought, what if I just distill as much of the lessons and knowledge and value that I've learned over the last year and even repeated from the year before or learned from, or I shared the experiences like, I was on this guy's podcast, we did this. I thought it was great. Here's what I learned. Because then it would be a polished version of what I'm learning and what I'm going through in the documentation. So you could read a book, because most people can read a 200, 300 page book if they tried in about a week. And now if you're a slow reader like myself, maybe that's 2 weeks, maybe that's 3. And maybe if you're a shitty ass reader, maybe that's a few months. But either way, it would take you, we'll just say it takes you 3 months. 3 months for that book for a full fucking year of my life in a polished version. So you wouldn't get all what I'm talking about now. You wouldn't get this. But you would get like, I spent a lot of time thinking about, should I write a book? That right there is this 20-minute podcast. So you get the polished version, and it's just more, the first word that came to mind was therapy. It's more therapy for me to get crystal clear on my beliefs, what I think, how I feel, the decisions I make, what I'm learning. And also, it's just another project that I'm kind of already doing, because I record a podcast. I then can transcribe it. Like, for example, I'm going to do this live on the show right now so you guys understand what I'm talking about. So I got to pause real quick. Okay, so I just copied the entire transcription. And now I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go into ChatGPT. I'm going to paste the whole transcription in there so far. Give me 10 talking points I can write about for a book on self-development and entrepreneurship documentation from this transcript. Provide 3 to 5 additional points under the main point that I can touch on. Please only give me ideas from this transcript only. Write this in a casual tone and very, very concisely. See what it says. So based on this podcast that you guys have already heard alone, the one that I said it was going to be short and sweet, how'd I know? All right, so Chapter 1, realizing I'm an operations guy, what it means to thrive in operations, how systems and processes create efficiency, applying this strength to every part of life and business. Cool little chapter. Chapter 2, balancing creativity and perfectionism. Struggling with content creation and procrastination, letting go of the perfect setup dream, finding joy in simplicity and progress. Dude, that's a whole fucking chapter. I could talk about that forever. Solo entrepreneurship challenges. Wearing every hat, sales, branding, delivery, balancing passion and practicality, staying motivated despite the grind. Chapter 4, quantity versus quality debate. Sending 200 generic messages versus 15 personalized ones. The efficiency mindset versus building relationships. Learning when to prioritize volume over depth. I'm not even trying to like hype this up. These are fucking great, bro. Lessons from efficiency experiments. Says spending hours automating seconds of work. That's so true, dude. I did that. I can speak of that. It wasn't even work. It was just writing the fucking date. The satisfaction of operational wins. Why these small gains compound over time. Number 6, the power of documentation. Using podcasts, transcripts, and notes to reflect. Inception right there. Turning experiences into lessons. The value of consistent self-recording. Dude, this is genius. Writing is therapy. How writing organizes thoughts and beliefs. The creative puzzle of finding the right words. Building clarity and confidence through writing. Chapter 8, the idea of a yearly book. Capturing each year's lessons and growth. Polishing documentation into value-packed content. Combining past and present perspectives. Chapter 9, reflecting on 75 hard and long-term impact. Revisiting podcasts to extract deeper insights. Documenting transformation as a legacy. Yeah, that will be my legacy, dude. I'm the guy that literally recorded every night. 10 philosophical insights on simplicity, distilling big ideas into small impactful phrases, those who might not matter as a mindset, finding elegance and simplicity. So yeah, I think this is a great starting point. So we're going to copy all of this, paste it in here. We're going to create a new tab in this document of mine. Chapter ideas, Chapter ideas. We're going to change the emoji to a book. It's going to be a blue book. Go in here, paste. And just like that, we got it down. Just like that. So, yeah. Uh-oh. What the hell? Oh, because nothing's here. So yeah, there's proof, right? So why I did all that was I have, what do I have? 434 of these podcasts. This is the 434th. I have 434 of these. And I just got 10 banger chapters from this 20-minute thing where I'm not even talking about shit. So in theory, if I just got 10 from one, I should have 4,340 different chapter ideas I could write about. So could I write a book? Yeah, I could. It would be a documentation. It wouldn't be based on me trying to explain or teach something. It would just be what I've learned and me trying to distill it down into lessons. But again, in a polished version so that, one, I'm teaching myself, I'm learning as I go, I'm getting clarity of mind. And also, as long as somebody's trying to learn the same things that I have learned, and I'm one step ahead of them, the book would be beneficial for them. And even if it's not, I like philosophy. I like learning more about why people make decisions, why people think the way they think, why people value the things that they value in comparison to other things that are out there, why people view things as they are rather than whatever. I love that stuff. And that's exactly what it'd be about. Now, knowing me, well, I don't know. I just think about it like this. I'm like, what's a long book? Like 250 pages? That's a pretty decent sized book. And if I just wrote 1 page a day, that's a 365 page book. It's a bigger book. And there'd be no rush to get it out. I would just have to have it done in the year, give myself a few months after to make sure it's nice and ready to go. And that's it, you know? So to think if I sat down and wrote 2 pages per day, think about this. If I wrote 2 pages a day, see, this is what I'm talking about. I love numbers. I love just figuring out what ifs and hypotheticals. So let's pull out my calculator. Guys, the calculator for Apple, the default calculator, it's asshole. And so Steve Jobs, I know you listen to the show, bro. Let's get that fixed, bro. Steve Jobs is not alive. Anyway, so we're going to go to, I think it's Tim Cook that he's running the show now. I don't know, man. Appreciate the products, though. Anyway, so let's go 7,305. That's 20 years and days times 2 pages. 14,610 pages of writing. How thick is 14,610? Yeah. Pages of a book. Google's not going to know that shit, so we're going to do ChatGPT. All right, how thick is 14,610 pages of a book? Now, how thick would this book be that I'd be writing? Dude, holy shit. A book with 14,610 pages would be approximately 28.76 inches. That's nearly 2.5 feet thick. More like a stack of encyclopedias than a single book. So 2.5 feet. 2.5 feet. What is a common household object that is 2.5 feet? Standard countertop height in a kitchen. No, it's not. No, it's not, bro. Dare I say... You can say whatever the fuck you want. Bro, goddamn midgets countertop, maybe. 2.5 feet, my balls, bro. A medium-sized floor lamp from base to shade. What the fuck? ChatGPT has no idea, bro. So that's like almost 3 paper towel rolls stacked on top of each other vertically. That's how big my book would be if I did that. I mean, I wrote 5 pages today like it was nothing. That's not a flex or a brag. It's just I just was writing and I liked it. So if I did that every day, and when I say pages, I don't mean like a full document PDF. I mean actual size of a book. So this is the page size. Let's go to it. Page setup is the margins make up for it, but it is 6.93 by 9.84. The margins make up for it, like I said. So it's a normal 6x9, just normal ass book. So it's a big book. But anyway, it was just very simple. So how many words did I write? Let's see, word count. So I wrote 1,461 words today. Now, that's a lot in one sitting, if you ask me. But it was so enjoyable for me, and I liked it. I like being able to just write, and I like to get kind of polished off on my thinking. And maybe that's why Alex Hormozi kind of is the way he is, because he spends a lot of time defining words, concepts, phrases, so that it's understandable and practical in usage in everyday life. And I like that. I'm not sure, I'm still learning, but I'm not sure if that would be something that I don't know. I think just gaining clarity on what I mean, because you and I, Mr. Listener, we could both be thinking about the same thing. Let's document this live. So my client just messaged me. He says, I wanted to ask your opinion on something. I won't be leaving work until 10 tonight instead of 4 like I'm supposed to. And then I work 7:30 a.m. instead of 9 like normal. I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. Should I just go to the gym like I was supposed to? Or should I replace my day off with today and work on my next day off? Hold on. Like I was supposed to? Or should I replace my off day with today and work out on my next day off? Or maybe even do a home workout? What would you tell me to do? Let's do this. What's going on, dude? Honestly, dude, if I'm being honest, I value sleep so highly, and I value recovery above all else. And it doesn't sound like you have much of that if you hit the gym. And there's absolutely no harm in switching a day off, a rest day, with tomorrow if it just is not feasible for you to hit the gym. And so I'm going to assume that you ask that as far as like the discipline side goes. Like, oh, should I just hit the gym? Like, should I just man up and go? And as far as the discipline aspect side of things goes, I would say yes, go. But it's like long-term thinking here, it's probably better if you take tomorrow, since you're not going to be able to have time to rest that much. Use it as a rest day. But this only works if you do hit the gym on the day that you were supposed to rest, but that you end up switching. So I would not go, but I would 100%, fucking thing stopped recording. But I would absolutely make sure that, dude, this fucking thing, I don't know if it, but I would absolutely make sure that you're hitting the gym on the day that you aren't scheduled to hit the gym. So just today would be day one, but you wouldn't hit the gym until, what would that be, Saturday? Or yeah, you would hit the gym Saturday instead of today. But yeah, so to answer your question, yeah, I value sleep much more than the average person for sure. So I would not hit the gym. Hopefully this makes sense. I think I rambled on a little bit too much, but let me know if that makes sense. All right, so there's a live reply to a client. Boom. Cool. Anyway, going back to the book thing. I don't know, something about it, dude. I like the idea of having my own book, even though it's not like a real book, like a real me trying to, I don't know, man. I think maybe it would be, actually. I just like writing so much. So, matter of fact, I'm going to read a little bit of what I wrote earlier. Let's see. And honestly, this doesn't really make a whole bunch of sense. Maybe you disagree, Mrs. or Mr. Listener. So, started it off with this. Ready? Here we go. So, my phone's not even plugged into the mic. I have the mic to my mouth when I'm recording on my phone. So I wrote, collectively as a society, we have agreed what a big success, let me zoom the fuck in. Mr. Blind Bryson can't see shit. We have agreed what a big success is and what a little success is. A big success might be writing a book, buying a Lambo, starring in a movie, owning a business, or a whole lot of other things. A small success might be dropping a few pounds, running a mile without stopping, getting a 50-cent raise, getting 100 likes on your post, or something else like this. So to say as a society would infer that this is some form of average. Society as a whole represents average. Society is us. Society is all of us. And if the stats include all of us, that means that there are no outliers. And if there are no outliers, the sum of society divided by individuals gives us average. So to say that we as a society have agreed upon something would also be to say that the average person is in alignment with beliefs or agreement. A practical example here is that we all agree that murdering other people is bad. Society, the average, as a whole agrees that we should not murder other human beings. However, there are those among us who disagree. They are a very, very small and frightening minority, but they exist. If you need any sort of proof, turn on the news for 15 minutes. So what am I getting at here? The collective whole may agree that something is this or that, good or bad, small or big, but not every single person agrees. There are people who just see things differently. For better or for worse, this exists in every part of life and exists in tiny, insignificant areas and major, extremely crucial areas. Either way, the point to be made here is that the average is average and there are extreme on both ends. Why does this matter? It matters because if you can observe the norm, perform some honest introspection, and then come to your own conclusion without the influence of outside sources, you are already above average in this regard. Not only that, but by definition of average and what is normal, you're neither. Most people cannot think for themselves. They rely on the norms around them and what has been deemed normal or acceptable. An easy example here would be that around 70% of the US population is either overweight or obese. Nearly 3 in every 4 people in the US are fat. It's acceptable. It's, in parentheses, actually below average. It's normal. All right, Bryson, what the fuck is your point, dude? Some people are wired different. Some people want more. Some people don't like certain things. Some people don't agree with other norms. Some people see different things as different things. And then I wrote, forget it, this book sucks. There's 2 pages of you saying absolutely nothing. What the fuck is going on? So what if I said writing a book is not an accomplishment, but merely a long string of days put together of typing 1,000 words per day, editing 200 of them, removing 50 of them, and changing 30 of them until it produces a book? What if I said that working for 20 years and saving enough to buy a Lamborghini is not an accomplishment, but merely a long period of time doing things that make a lot of money so that you can someday afford this spectacular piece of engineering? What if I said running a business worth $50 million is not an accomplishment, but merely a very enduring, strong individual simply utilizing his skills and abilities better than others? What if I said that big accomplishments that we all agree are big accomplishments just aren't accomplishments at all? What would that make you angry to know you just ran a marathon and someone thinks it's cakewalk and not worthy of celebration? Would that make you angry to win a bodybuilding show and have some guy tell you that it's too easy to win and that anyone could do it? What about if you sacrificed the last 30 years of your life to building something magnificent only for someone to tell you it's nothing of significance and holds no value whatsoever? Would it? Why or why not? My point in saying all this is this: what you think is a big deal and what I think is a big deal are not the same. And that's where I stopped writing, because I was like, what the fuck am I writing? But then, I just realized I'm 40 minutes into the show. This is fucking ridiculous. But, I was like, what the fuck am I writing? But, reflecting back, why I was saying this was me trying to get to the point of, I'm writing these books, but I'm not writing these books for the normal reason that people write books. Usually people write self-help books. What I'm talking about specifically here is self-help books and these big, thick-ass nonfiction, personal development, entrepreneurship books. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Harry Potter stuff. I'm not talking about Star Wars stuff. And I think people have certain motives when writing a book. Like, this is going to be a bestseller. I'm going to help people. I'm going to do this. But what if I'm writing it for myself? What if I'm writing it to gain clarity of mind, but I know that I can help somebody, so I just put it out there anyway? And in that regard, for me, it's not an accomplishment. It's not any kind of thing for me to celebrate necessarily, because I'm doing it for me. Let me put it to you this way. What I just did today, should I celebrate that? Exactly. Celebrate what? So what? I wrote 5 pages? Exactly. But people just do it consistently, and then celebratory worthy? Same with a lot of shit in life. Now, I'm not saying to discredit people who have done great shit. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I would be writing these to simply write. And so it's not a big accomplishment for me. So I don't deem this as some big success for me. And I don't think that this is something that's, I don't know. That's kind of why I stopped writing, because I was like, hold on, I'm not really clear on what I'm even trying to get at here. So what am I? And that's the beauty of it. I'm writing and I get to a spot where I'm like, what do I even mean? So I stop, and they're just kind of like a thinking point for me. So I think, okay. Yeah, I mean, I actually wrote 4 more pages talking about the Bed Project podcast and what the books are going to be about. And honestly, this isn't me trying to like procrastinate anything else or take my mind off of something else. This is kind of relaxing for me to just write and to put my shit into work, you know, because I was actually doing what was I doing? I don't remember what I was doing earlier, but I was like, I gotta take a fucking break. And I took a break by writing, and I liked it. And because I actually have, let me see if I can find it really quick. I started writing a book last year. I know I talked about it on the show. Let me see if I can find it. So I got the title Self-Progression Journal. Recharge log writing book. Is it this one? Yeah, I've got 82 pages on this shit. God damn. This is actually insane. I got 82 full pages written here. I didn't even know I had this. Holy shit. I'm just looking, dude. Wow. I've got 82 full pages written. Let me change the page format real quick to see how much pages would be for an actual book. How much pages? How many pages? What a fucking idiot. 112 pages. So I have a book written right here. I already have one written. That's crazy. I'm not even bullshitting. I got 112 pages written of a book. I could polish it up, add some. Yeah. For me, I'm just writing because I enjoy it. I like it. So for me I think it's a really good example. I wrote 5 pages today. Should we go out and celebrate? Why would we celebrate that? Yeah, so why do we celebrate someone doing it consistently for half a year? That makes it celebratory worthy. So why don't we celebrate people being fat fucks for 6 months in a row? It's very consistent. So it's not consistency, is it? That's what they did consistently. See, that's what I'm talking about, dude. Just thinking about shit like that. I like that. I'm a big fan. I need friends that think like that, so we can just put that shit off each other, bounce it off each other, and just not sounding gay. You know? Where's the homies out here trying to do some introspection and write philosophy? Where are you guys at? Old me would have been embarrassed to say that out loud, dude. New me's like, where are you at? Find me, please. I just can't believe I have this written. That's crazy. I forgot. I actually was writing 2 pages per day while I was doing phase 1 of Live Hard. Dude, that program changed my life. I gotta end the show, guys. That program changed my life, though. It got me recording a podcast. It got me writing a book. Changed my life. Got me running a business again. Thank you, Andy Priscilla. I'm a very grateful man. All right. That's it. That's the show. Short and sweet, huh? I literally just wanted to get on here and say that I'm an operations guy. And here we are. So that's it, guys. Matter of fact, we're going to do one more thing. Client just responded. Okay, cool. That makes perfect sense. Thank you. I appreciate it. God, you. The goal is to make this a lifestyle you can stick with. The ultimate goal is to make this style of living something you just do on autopilot. got this, man. Thanks for asking this question. Gonna add it to the FAQ on the course link I sent on the modules I sent. I got you, bro. The goal is to make this a lifestyle you can stick with. The ultimate goal is to make this style of living something you just do on autopilot. You got this, man. Thanks for asking this question. I'm going to add it to the FAQ on the modules I sent. See, that's cool, man. If somebody responded to me how I just responded to him, I would be ecstatic. So I try to keep that in mind when I'm talking to people. Okay, that's it for real. Bye.